for Treasure Hunt Tuesday.
Yeah. All right, this is a game where Kimberly and I engage in mortal combat to see who's better at guessing an item's value. Well, not really.
Now, here's a woman who prices things, but she herself is priceless. It's our Ph.D. Antiques expert, Dr. Lori.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, it is Tuesday.
Yes.
All right, enough lollygagging around. Let's go treasure hunting.
Yeah.
First up, one of the most jarring items we've ever had on. Come on out here, Laura. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So, tell me what you brought.
I brought a Martaban jar. I think it's from the Ming Dynasty.
The Ming Dynasty, which dates from the mid-1300s until 1644.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I do.
Hear those dates? That's a long time ago.
long time ago.
Long time ago.
Okay. So, you think it's Chinese?
Or could be maybe Chinese, made in a Chinese shop made in Vietnam or Guangdong.
So, Chinese shop made in Vietnam. You think?
It could be.
How'd you acquire it?
I acquired
is she
it from a
rubbing it?
boyfriend, but which
From
is
a
now-
boyfriend?
A boyfriend.
Why do you want this from a boyfriend? I want jewelry. What's wrong with you girls?
I like this stuff.
You like this?
I do.
Okay.
He went to an estate sale
An
and they were
estate
getting
sale? No, jewelry.
They were getting rid of it, so he got a couple pieces, and that's what I got.
And that's what you got?
Yeah,
Jewelry.
about 5 years ago.
What'd you pay for it?
Is he still your boyfriend?
No, he's my husband now.
I would have sent him packing. Packing,
Oh,
I would have
goodness
sent
gracious.
him.
It's
You have questions
interesting.
for her? Because I can't believe that she would want this over jewelry.
I do.
I have a question.
I'm joking with you. What
Do you
questions
know,
have
do you know how
you got?
much you paid for it?
$50.
$50.
Oh my gosh, you know how much he gave you the gift and you know how much it was.
I sold the other ones.
Oh, all right.
Is
I'll be
there
quiet.
anything on the bottom?
It's just the normal, you could see from the wheel that they use.
Like a mark? Is that what you're
Yeah,
thinking
some
about?
kind of marking.
Some kind of marking?
It did
Where do you
go
get it
through.
from?
It estate sale up in
What's this
Morristown
for? What
or
are these
somewhere.
for?
For strings
For
that go
strings
against
or
to a
ropes?
ship.
Rope.
Ropes?
Yeah,
So
go
it
to
can
go
work
to
as
ship.
ballast in a ship?
Yeah.
You know, weight it down?
Oh.
I sent
yeah.
pictures to the Smithsonian. Freer.
The Freer and the Sackler galleries?
Yes, I couldn't say that.
Well, because they basically work with respect to Asian pieces.
Okay.
I actually read the letter that you received back from the museum. Yeah. They said that the jury was still out on your jar.
Yeah.
They had no
really?
information about it. It was quite interesting. Actually, what the Smithsonian did was they referred to someone who had written on these particular types of jars, and that person said they didn't know what it was. And then the Smithsonian said, well, if she doesn't know, then we don't know. And everybody came back to you with kind of an I don't know. But basically, these are not all that commonplace to a museum like that. Okay. But so you asked, and you got some information.
Yeah, because I thought it was from Borneo. I knew nothing
You
about
thought it
it.
was from Borneo.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just started reading in Google. Reading and reading. And
Anywhere
then
you can get good information.
And then I just sent things out everywhere, and I just wait for
asked
people to-
everybody?
I do.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I got.
Write
out
down
of
your
it.
numbers, because you don't have too much information
All
on
right.
it.
We don't have a lot of information.
We need the audience to help them out. What do you think? 300.
$75.
It would have been used for shipping.
Okay.
That's one of the things you should know. It does have a particular glaze, which is quite old. This particular glaze is very well known in Asian circles.
Okay.
Okay? And it has some elements which are unglazed.
Does that make a difference?
That does make a difference. Okay.
Oh, boy. I mean,
And
this
remember
is a
the
tough
dates of
one.
the Ming Dynasty. She believes it to be Ming.
Yeah, I don't know about that. but okay.
1300s to the 1600s. Okay. Dr. Steve, what do you think?
I think $2,000.
$2,000.
I don't know that it's from Ming Dynasty, but the fact that no one could nail it down, I don't know if they could carbon date these things and really nail it down.
They could
but-
do all that stuff.
Yeah, but we don't know that. But I'll go in the benefit of the doubt. It's probably $2,000.
Okay. Kimberly? $30.
Oh.
Kimberly doesn't buy it. Interesting.
Oh boy.
Let's talk a little bit about what you really have. Okay. What you have is a storage jar. Now, storage jars, and when I was at the Yale Art Gallery, we used to have a little joke that was, if it's a vase, it's worth $100,000 or more, and everything else is a vase. You know?
Yeah.
This particular piece is a vase. It's a storage jar. And many of the great Greek vases that you would see are actually for storage. That's what this is. So this actually is a storage jar that would have these big ropes attached to it all the way around. You would store something that you're going to ship here and there, okay? And then basically what you would say is you would have information based on iconography around the jar to tell us what's inside.
Oh.
So what's inside could be something that relates to an animal. Something that's inside could relate to, of course, something that would sustain life.
Was there a dragon in there?
So there wasn't particularly a dragon in there, but the dragon actually relates to prosperity, so something valuable would have been in there.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, notice the different colors and the age. It probably does date to the 1500s.
Wow.
So it is rather old.
Okay.
Wow.
Based on condition, based on coloration, based on how the glaze is applied and such. Now, the size and the weight of it is what relatively tells us that it's a storage jar. It probably was, in fact, made in that particular area, right? It's probably made in Guangdong. And value on this piece, about $500.
All right. All right.
Cool.
That's
So for
cool.
$50, that boyfriend/husband of yours didn't do too badly. I'd still rather have a diamond.
I think I will too now.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's bring out our next guest and our next potential treasure. Come on out here, Maria. Hi, how are you? Oh, cat lovers unite. Hi, Maria. How are you? Nice to see you. So, tell me a little bit about your piece. I'm going to take a look while you tell Dr. Steve and Kimberly about your piece.
I acquired this a few years ago at a Goodwill store.
Okay.
I paid just under $100, I believe, if I
Okay.
recall correctly.
Was it framed?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It's got two signatures. I did a little research. It's got the signature of the artist and the printer.
Is that common? You should be asking.
Is that common?
I don't know.
It's from 1881. There's a mark that says 1881 right up here. It was printed in New York. Copyright mark right at the top.
Oh, wow. All right. So this is a print.
Has to be if the printer signed it.
Okay,
I
so
guess,
this is a
right?
print.
Yeah.
And is there a number anywhere on it? Have you taken it apart and looked at it to see
You didn't take it out of the frame?
if there's any
I
marking?
did take it out,
Okay.
only because there was a lot of dust between the glass and the artwork. So I cleaned off the glass.
Okay.
The back is very old, looks like, to me.
From 1881, it was published in New York. It's marked right on it at the top.
You saw that with your own eye.
That's what I saw with this loop in my own eye. It was this eye, actually. The one with all the mascara on it. This is the name of the artist, and that's the name of the printer.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
The back has a backboard, which is wooden. Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay.
That helps.
All right.
Sure it
A
does.
lot, Dr. Lori.
Okay.
Right.
All right, audience. All right.
How much you think? You think it's a print?
Yeah.
It's signed in two places. We know it's the printer and the artist. What do you think? How much do you think it's worth?
I said $12.50.
Oh, that's your go-to number.
That's my go-to number.
You like that number?
She does.
It's round.
I said
250.
250.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about this. You purchased it for how much?
Just under 100.
Just
I
under
believe.
100. Did you negotiate at the?
No.
No. You went in. You said it's Goodwill. I'm going to give them the money, and that's it. Well, the wooden backboard is what should tell all of you this piece dates between 1875 and 1900. Every single time. You see a wooden backboard, it's the late 19th century.
Okay.
Because by about 1900, they realized that this wood is off-gassing onto the works of art, damaging the works of art. But it takes them 25 years to figure that out.
Right,
Okay?
right.
Then we
right.
start to have cardboard, which is also acidic, and then later acid-free. Now, the other problem that you have here is this particular piece is actually a print which will then be shrunk down so it can be published in a book. That's why you have the artist's name and the printer's name, because they both want to get their credit when it goes to the publisher. This is the artist who drew it,
Okay.
who carved into that stone, and this is the person who inked the stone and took that big stone with this image in it and impressed it onto pieces of paper. The artist and the printer.
Got it.
That's what this is.
Okay.
That's why you've got all this information you're looking at. This piece is right up against the glass, mwah, kissing the glass. You don't want your artwork kissing the glass. It traps dirt, moisture, condensation, which is why you had to get in there and clean it. You need a mat to create basically an air pocket.
Okay.
Okay? So it needs a mat. It shouldn't cost you more than $50. There's nothing wrong with the frame if you don't mind the way it looks. And this particular piece is worth, together, about $350. About $150 for this and about $200 for the work of art. Very nice. For $100, not bad.
Do you think the frame is original?
No, the frame is definitely not original to the piece. It's not from 1881. This frame probably dates sometime to 1981.
I love Dr. Lord. She just cut straight to the chase.
Yeah, we're trying.
All right, you won, Dr. Steve. You won.
Well, we're even now. We're even now.
Are we even?
Yeah,
All right, we're even.
Yeah, I think we're
Well,
doing good.
Maria, thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you, Maria.
Well, we've still got one more item to appraise, and it's going to really raise your spirits.
Oh.
Don't go away.
Next,
My dad was an animator.
Oh, Casper!
don't miss what Dr. Lori reveals.
Value on the whole grouping.
Welcome back to our Treasure Hunt Tuesday game. How are we doing, Kim?
You know what? We've had a good day. I
We
mean,
have,
you know, we kind of broke that whole thing of writing down the same number. Now it's like back to like competition mode.
But we're even now.
We are
That's
even.
the
Is this
thing.
going to be a tiebreaker?
Yeah, I think
All right,
so.
I
All right,
got
so
you.
now it's time for Dr.
All right.
Lori to kind
I'm
of
ready.
sort it out. Go ahead, Lori.
Are you ready?
We are.
Okay. Now it's time for our final treasure hunter of the day. And you know, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Here, Robert. It's really nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Let's see what you have. Thank you.
Oh, Casper! Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
Oh my! So I love cartoons. A little fun fact
Yeah.
about Kimberly Locke, and I used to watch Casper as a kid.
Yeah.
So this is just too cute.
Oh, my gosh.
And I've got to tell you that I used to watch Casper as a kid, too, and that shows you how old Casper is.
Yeah, right?
Kimberly is a lot younger, but Casper actually also had a great
Wow.
impact during World War II, of course, and after the fact. So that's pretty wonderful in the late 1940s. So tell us a little bit about this, Robert. Thank you for bringing them in.
Oh, you bet. My dad was an animator, and he had done Popeye and Betty Boop cartoons. He created Betty Boop's dog, Pudgy. Then he did the classic Superman cartoons of the early 40s. He did 4 out of the 17 of those.
Wow.
And then after the war, about 1945, the studio, which was Famous Studios, which was Paramount's cartoon studios, had a new character called Casper the Friendly Ghost. They did one cartoon called The Friendly Ghost in 1945. Then 3 years later, they did another one called There's Good Booze Tonight, B-O-O-S. And Dad, who was a head animator, meant that he was directing the cartoon. So that second cartoon, Casper doesn't look the same in the first cartoon. In the second cartoon, Dad would lay out, these are layout drawings, and they're kind of like storyboards. And so this is Dad's first drawing of Casper. That's Casper's introduction in that film. And then there's like the second sequence is him just in front of the tombstone thinking about that he doesn't have a friend. So these are the very,
Early renditions of Casper,
Early
just like
renditions
Mickey
of
Mouse,
Casper.
who has
Yes.
longer ears in the early days. Casper sort of has his evolution as well, right, Robert?
Right, that's
Okay.
true, because
so
if
now we don't have the Mylar. What we have here is we have the original drawings.
from 1948.
Okay. So and in the same year they're making Casper toys, wind-up toys of
Not
Casper.
yet, I don't think. Are they?
Wind-up toys of Casper.
Okay.
They're having all different types of elements with respect, in that particular time period. Okay. So you've got sort of lots of Casper stuff, but this is the original pieces. And
Absolutely.
they come with provenance specifically from the family.
Yes.
Because they're your dad's pieces.
Yes.
And I guess
Yes.
there's many around from your dad.
There's a few more.
There's a few more. All right. Okay. There's
From this
usually,
cartoon.
usually a collection, and then you want to keep the cartoons together. So you have any questions for Bob?
So you said it was 1948.
Yes.
And who owns Casper now?
That's a very good question.
Yeah,
Kimberly.
I would be
I'm not
curious
sure.
to know who owns the
Because
rights
it
to
was
Casper.
Harvey Comics for a while. Then Harvey was bought by another company, so I'm not sure who owns
Okay.
Casper
But
now.
they don't own these.
Right, right.
Right?
Yeah,
These
These
are the
are the originals, and they're still in the family. Okay, other questions quickly?
Just how they were maintained over the years, how you've been storing them.
In this file?
In
Just in
this
a file?
file, in a fireproof horizontal file.
Okay, flat
Okay.
file, horizontal.
Flat file.
Okay.
Audience? Any
What do you
ideas?
think? How much?
Any ideas with respect to question? Numbers? Values? You
Is
guys
it as a
be
pair
ready?
or is it
So this is-
individual?
It's
Yeah.
the grouping.
For
Oh, the grouping.
The grouping.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Grouping. So we've got a photograph, of course, of Robert's dad with Casper.
Okay.
And then you've got 2 of the drawings.
That's live on television in 1954.
And that is your dad.
That's my dad.
Time for the big reveal.
Big reveal.
3,000 for
3,000.
Kimberly.
Wow.
And
What'd
Dr.
you say?
Steve,
What'd you say?
3,000.
We are back, girl.
Oh, we're back.
300.
Okay.
Back on it. But here's the
Okay.
sentimental for Casper.
Sentimental for Casper.
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Is we getting the
No,
sentiment in the way?
but I'm doing it anyway.
First of all, I don't like these file folders at all. They are
no, they're
acidic,
bad.
and you should know better, Robert, an artist. I like the flat file. So
Okay.
just get rid of the acidic, right, folders.
Put it in the-
Just put them in the flat file against the metal. And that's
Okay,
fine. And you
okay.
probably have what's called a flam cabinet, because animators usually had flam cabinets that were not flammable, because the Mylar, basically, you've seen those sheets, right?
cells.
Yeah.
The cells are flammable, highly flammable.
Okay.
So I'll have you hold that since I don't like it. And then basically what you have here is you have, again, where you would literally know the sequence.
Sure.
So that's why you have the holes in the paper, which tells us that, yes, they are authentic, and we knew that from Robert. But basically, that's what you're looking at here. Also, you're looking at a change. This is not what we typically think of Casper, right? I remember the drinking cup. You know, I had the Casper drinking cup that when you drank it, Casper, of course, would get empty, right? So you'd have it, you can see through him.
Oh,
So there's
right.
lots of that memorabilia with Casper. He's so popular. Also, what you're looking at here is the way in which they are stained, which is relatively common. And the stains tell me, sometimes the damage will tell me whether or not the time period is correct. These stains do look like this paper and the watermark on the paper, and the stains say,
I
yeah,
see.
circa 1948, post-war American.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Value on the whole grouping, about $700.
Okay.
A grouping of 3 sold
All right.
recently for $700.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
you get a little bit more than that because of provenance. You might get $750, but I would say $700 for what I'm looking at here.
Wow.
Right.
So, Kimberly,
both
you're
high.
closer,
I won.
but
Yeah,
neither of you are that close.
We've overshot that one.
Yeah,
And this is what happens, Dr. Lori. You get so emotional about some of this stuff,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
This is why the toy collector market is so high, because, you know, toys, we go, oh, we can experience our youth. Wow, I can
Right.
have my Chrissy doll back, you know, that
Right.
kind of thing.
Great.
So, Robert, did I give you a friendly appraisal for the friendly dump?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So much fun. So much fun. So remember, when you're purchasing objects, you want to think about condition and you want to think about quality. If you can add provenance like you did, keeping it in the family or keeping it in a group, you're going to increase value.
Oh,
Thank you so
that's
much.
great.
My pleasure. Nice to meet
Dr.
you.
Lori, that was so good. So I just am sentimental about Casper. That's
Right,
just the way
yeah.
that goes. I still pay $3,000 for it anyway.
Well, Myron
All right.
Waldron was a very, very famous, of course, animator. One of the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
All right.
fantastic. All right, we're going to go treasure hunting again next Tuesday. This is so much fun.
but for now, there's more of Dr. and the Diva coming up next.